Hello, my superstar artists. We're going to draw a blue Morpho. I know we have done this before, but it helps us see how, or you see how your skills are progressing, or feel how you're progressing in terms of your drawing and your art. You can, if you want, do this butterfly instead, which is a purple emperor, or you could try this one, which is called a swallowtail. Some of you may have done them before, but it's always good to go back to butterflies because as you go through school, your skills will improve in terms of your drawing and also your colouring in when you come to colour them in. So you will see how you are progressing. Okay. Right, so we're going to focus back on the blue Morpho. Now remember, the blue Morpho is the biggest butterfly, has the biggest wingspan. It lives in the Amazon, and the blue Morpho has this small body compared to the wings. If you look at the other two butterflies, they have a more balanced size. Okay, so if you're going to do these, make sure that you look at the first thing you're going to be doing is the size of the body, and then make sure your wings come below the body here and above the head in the same sort of proportion. Okay, with our blue Morpho, which we're going to do, we've got a much smaller body and the wings come right up and below the body. So we're going to start doing her now. Okay, so you can do her on, or him, portrait. So your paper can be portrait. And the first thing we're going to do is find the middle of the page and do a little mark, a little, almost like a little, as if you're going to draw a green pea, but half a green pea, just to do the top of the head, okay? And then you're going to allow maybe 2 fingers if you're in year 1 or year 2, if it's maybe 3. If you're in key stage 2, 2 should be fine. And do a little line underneath, and then just bring the body around. We're not going to worry too much about the shape of the body, so that you have almost like an oval shape. I've drawn almost like an oval shape. Okay, now I'm going to do a little bit of this in pencil so that in case I need to change the line. But now we're going to do the wings. Okay, so we're going to start by doing the center here, the middle part. So find the middle of your shape and make a little mark coming out and another mark coming out there. And then put your hand and come out about 4 fingers, maybe 5, your whole hand, let's say, if you're in key stage 1, and you come all the way out and you put a mark. So I've come all the way along. I'm not worrying too much. So I've got my mark there. I'm not going to do anything with that yet. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. And I'm going to put my mark there. Okay. I'm not going to do anything with that yet. Now I'm going to find the point up here. So this top of my butterfly's wing on this side. Okay, so from this point here, I'm going to put my hand going up the page and I'm going to make a mark. So I've put my fingers along that dot and I'm going neatly in a straight line up the page pretty much. So this is my body, there's my dot. I can see that it is much higher than the body. So if I imagine that my dot was here and the head is here, it's much, much higher. Mine is the same. So now I'm going to start drawing the wing. I'm going to do a lovely big curve, this lovely big curve coming up from the body. So not from the top of the head, but from near the middle of the body. And we're going to come up in a lovely big curve. And you stop. Okay. And you're going to do the same on the other side. So you put 3 or 4, about 4 fingers. You want to be at the same height as best you can. So find your dot that you did and put a mark up here. If it helps, you can use a little pencil to see if it's a similar height, because a butterfly has symmetry. It's symmetrical. These 2 sides are symmetrical, so you want to try and make them as exactly the same as possible. That's why it's actually quite hard to draw a butterfly. So mine's a bit lower down, so I might come up a bit. And now I'm going to start at the same point, and I'm going to do that lovely curve. Now, because I'm going from here to here, I naturally actually want to come down, even though this one I went up the hill. This one, I sort of feel I want to come down the hill. So I'm going to put my finger where I want to come to on the body and come down the hill and try and give it the same curve as the other one. Okay, it's not quite the same, but pretty similar, not too bad. Now we're going to come down to this point. So if you look, the side of the wings, they come in and out, lovely curves. So you're going to come round in a curve in and then give her some lovely curves and then come out a bit and round in a curve and stop. And then do the same on the other side. Come round, some lovely curves and round and stop. And then you can bring that line in if you want to the middle in a curve. Try and not make it too straight. And the same. So now you should have the wings on two sides. Okay. Now we're going to do the lower wing here. So you're going to start about 2 fingers in and put a little mark. So I've come 2 fingers in. So not near the middle. If it's near the middle, then come out a little bit and a little mark. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Maybe this one, her wing is tucked in a little bit behind, so it's actually a bit further out. Just do the same there. Okay. Now, if you notice, the wings come all the way around and then they go right up near the bottom of her body. Okay. So I'm going to make a mark at the bottom going down the slide here and another one going down the slide here. And that will help me know when I draw my wings where I'm coming with my shape. Okay. Right. Now we're going to find how far down we go. So remember, we know we need to go down really far because her body's much smaller than her wings. So her body finishes there. And I'm going to put my hands on this wing here in the middle. And I think actually 4 fingers is not enough. I'm going to do 5 and put a dot underneath. So find the middle of the wing, put 5 fingers and do a dot underneath. Now I'm going to come out and round. So it doesn't come further out than this wing. It stays inside, but it has a lovely in and out, a lovely curve, a bit like you did here. So first it comes down the slide ever so gently. So come down the slide gently, and now we're going to come round. If it helps, put your finger here so you know where you're coming. And you come down and give her a little bit of shape as you come round, in and out, soft waves, and stop. Okay. And now you're going to come back up to the body. And I'm actually going to come down. So I'm going to come down, almost comes down the slide a bit, and then it comes in a bit towards here. So I'm going to come down and then round and in. Okay. So I'm sure your butterflies are going to look amazing. And the way I'll do exactly the same on this side. So if it helps, put your pencil along here and try and make sure it's in a straight line, because it can be easy to do that with your pencil. But just with your eye, see if it's straight. And then find the middle of this wing, just roughly with your finger, and come all the way down. And then you're going to put a mark almost at the same spot. So it's on a similar level. Okay. Now we're going to do the same. We're going to come all the way around to this mark. This one doesn't come down the slide as much. Can you see, even though I've said she's symmetrical, it's not quite symmetrical on this side. Out and round and down. And now we're going to come round and up. I prefer to go up on this side, but you could come down. Just make sure it's not, you don't come straight down like that. You give her a curve. So I'm going to keep coming round and then come up. Okay. And there you have the basic shape of your beautiful butterfly. Now, butterflies have these veins in their wings, which help hold up the structure of their wings. It's like scaffolding for a building, okay? So with your pencil, you can very softly add some of these lines. So you can start here and add one coming along here, and then it comes out, and then you can start on the edge of the wing, another one going here, and this one can join up there, and then you have one coming along, and then we have a few that come across. They don't have to be exactly like mine, just keep them relatively straight and not too many. That's enough. And try and do this one that comes out. So I'm going to start here again. It's like the branches of a tree, and I'm going to come up, and I'm going to go across. I'm going to start one here that comes all the way out and join that one here that comes up, okay, and then I'm going to have a few more that come across, like that, and then I'll add the ones here. So I have one coming down here, and it branches out just like a tree's branch, branching out to the edges of her wing, and one coming from here. Okay. And then you do the same on this side. So near the body, you've got a line coming down. And these will help hold her wings when she's flying. It's like a structure internal. It's a bit like the bones in our skeleton. Okay. Now, the antenna, I usually say don't draw them, because when people draw the antenna, they draw me very thick antenna like this, which is not what the antenna looks like on the actual butterfly. So you can, but only with your pencil and just a very soft line. And they don't go all the way up. They're quite short. They don't go past her wings. They stay there. Now for the coloring in, because you can color these in if you have time, if you're using it for art assembly. If you're doing it as part of a lesson, then you may color in for the rest of the lesson. So when you're coloring in, make sure you add this black edge along here. So this section here will actually be a black edge. So you will actually be drawing this in with your black coloring pencils, not with felt tip. I'm doing it very roughly with my black pen, but you will give her a little edge of thickness the whole way round with your pencils, and the same on this side. It's very important feature of your blue Morpho. Okay, so inside here will all be black. You'll add that with your coloring pencils. It's actually a bit of black and a bit of brown. So if you want to be really precise, which will be fantastic, you use some black and some brown to make that mark. You can mix it in a little bit together. Okay, I only have my black felt tip pen at the moment, but you can do that with that. Then we have that, and then she has a little bit on the edge. So on the edge here, there's a bit of thickness coming along this edge here, and then it drops quite thick at the top. So it comes in, it follows the shape, and then it actually stops. So actually goes along the edge, around, and then it stops. It does stop. It has a little bit maybe along here of extra thickness, but not too much. Okay. And there you have a lovely blue morph when you come to do it. So when you come to color the body, that you can do with black coloring pencil, or if you're using felt tip, if you're doing it in art assembly, you can use black. But when you come to do the wings, you're using a mixture of purple, blue, and if you have a light blue and a dark blue, and you layer the colors on top of each other, and some sections you might make them a bit more purple, and some sections you might make them a little bit more bluer. I'm just going to get some coloring pencils. Sorry, I forgot to get them. So you're coloring her in, but you're not just using the single blue. You're then looking at the colors and adding some purple on top. And it doesn't have to be the same level of purple everywhere. And then you're maybe adding a little bit of the light blue. So I've got 3 colors here. Okay. And then in different spaces, you add different levels of the colors so that you get a slightly effect where it's not all exactly the same color along her wing. Okay, so you have your 3 colors. Right, I look forward to seeing some of your blue morphos. If you choose to do the swallowtail, remember, use the same steps we've used by drawing the body, then the wings, looking at the proportion, so the size of the body, the size of the wings. Draw your top wing first, and then your bottom wings. And when it comes to coloring in, you're thinking the same. You can do the veins to give you the different sections. If you do the purple emperor, again, it's very much the same wings as our blue morpho, but the body is much longer in it. The body, if this was, we were turning this into a purple emperor, we'd make the body would come all the way down here. And then maybe just wouldn't be as many frilly bits on the edge of the wing. And if you're coloring them in, the white on this one, you leave white. It's your paper, so don't color it in. Just leave a mark. Just maybe draw the lines with your pencil where you're going to leave it white. And then the same with the blue. You're using the light blue, the dark blue, and the purple. And for these colors here, which is more like a pinky purple, you'd be using pink and purple to make those colors. I really look forward to seeing your lovely butterflies. Enjoy. Bye-bye, my superstar artists. I know you're going to do an amazing job. Okay.